This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Be advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
You are what you watch. Hello, how are you? And now we're going to go through another show right before Christmas. Now, instead of me bearing gifts, let me bring to you a situation where you and I can at least participate and correct some of the ills of our country. Yes, that is the gift I bring to you this season. Alam niyo po, sa dami natin naririnig sa mga kapulisan, sa mga kalokohan nangyayari sa buong bansa, at tapos naririnig natin sa ating presidente at lahat ng mga ating liderato, sinasabi nila lahat pong maayos. Is it really true? You have to be that judge. Now, what I do a lot of times is I'm very critical of a lot of issues. I try not to become personal, but the problem is, as a human being, you become biased after a while. Now, in this particular show, I bring to you an issue that is not just a critique, but an actual issue, an actual phenomenon that has occurred in this country. And the worst part of it all, it continues to keep going. Let me introduce to you the concept of what the title of this show is about, the ugly head of an oligarch. It starts normally with a little bit of money, a little bit of power, or worse, popularity. Then they get a mandate. These people become leaders. They get elected by the people because of their popularity. It's personal based. It's all about the person, not necessarily the issues or advocacies a person wants to do, which is called public service. Then the dynasty comes in. Family jumps on and become politicians as well, and then they start to hold an area down, wherein the constituency becomes their subjects. Alam nyo, hindi naman monarchy ito, hindi naman tayo mga, kumbaga, hail the queen, hail the king. No? Presidente po ito at every 3 years, pwede matanggal natin yan. Ang problema, pag naging dinastiya na at kung saan-saan man sila na lang pwedeng mapili, nagiging oligarkiya. Ano ba ibig sabihin po ng oligarkiya? Simple lang po yun eh. Ang ari-arihan ng buong bayan sa kanila na kumbaga hardware, supermarket, sila na ang pinakamalaking employer dun sa bayan. An oligarch, when it rears its ugly head, is probably the worst monster you will ever find. The problem with local government all over this country are the many oligarchs we have to contend with. Of course, we have the billionaires that we see that are getting all the big-ticket items as we've seen. The growth in this country, awan ko, kung walang korap, walang mahirap, ay ang problema, kung walang korap, bakit ang daming mahirap? Ano po ibig sabihin nun? The oligarchs, when they begin to take over, start to stifle the economy and all for personal gain. Now, that's bad enough as it is. But the problem is, when some of them start expropriating property, all for their personal good, all for themselves. Hindi kaya parang mali po ito, mas masuhol pa ito sa martial law. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to talk about a particular person, a family. The name is Haloshos. His infamous life, his background, being convicted and having served time in Muntinlupa is not the issue, but his ongoing oligarch ways. The monster that has come out to take people away, to cut people out, to take over property. This is still happening. I bring to you an example. Sad, yes. But mabuti na lang dinadala ko po sa harap sa inyo para malaman nyo may mga ganitong tao pa rin na umiikot, umiiral dito sa bayan natin. At kailangan dapat maipigil na sana. The name is Romy Halosos. It's not famous. It's popular. It's infamous. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you our guests. We have Steve and Reggie Witter. Si Steve po, Americano. I'm sorry, Steve. Let me finish my monologue because I know you partly understand this, I'm sure. Reggie is a Filipina. Nag-asawa po yun ng dalawa at nagdala ng pera dito sa bayan at namili ng lupa at gagawa sana ng negosyo sa Mindanao. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you the couple. Hi, thank you very much for being brave enough to come here and say your piece, you know. You have to stand up. Let's go first. Let's go first to the basics. You got married, you moved in the country when? 1990?
It's about 2003.
2003, when you finally moved in because you wanted to invest in the paradise beaches of Mindanao. You're from Mindanao, I take it.
Yes, Dipolog City.
Dipolog. And you convinced Steve to get out of sunny California to come here? How'd you do that, right?
Well, there's things you can do here that you can't do in California, believe it or not. We wanted to do kind of a healing center, you know, because a lot of the natural healing stuff takes a long time
When you say
to do.
healing,
So
this is your expertise. You bring.
we were all trained in massage and Ayurvedic medicine, and a lot of it was like purification therapies and things that go on for a long period of time. So people need a place to get away on the beach or something so they can.
That's interesting. That's very popular in Thailand. That's their big tourist industry, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And you're about to start that here.
Yes.
Okay, let's go back 2003. So you come in, you buy acres of land, hectares of land, 7 to 8 hectares, if I'm correct.
Oh, it's not really that big, but it's nice. I would.
It's enough. It's enough
It
to have
was
a
enough.
decent
And the
business.
thing was, it was very nice because it had trees, it had white sand beach, there's nice coral beds and mountains around there. So it was more on quality than number of hectares. I think maybe I'm sure there's a whole hectare there, just about.
Before you arrived here, you have no perception of what Mindanao is?
Well, I'd lived here. My daughter was born here.
Oh, all right.
She's born in '94 or whatever. So, you know, I'd been here before and had a good experience. You know, I lived here for about a year.
Reggie, you're from Mindanao. You have no
Yes.
perception of it being a little difficult security-wise?
Oh no, it's very nice. The
Dipolog.
people there, the people there very friendly, very nice. That's why it's like, okay.
Oh,
This-
nice.
this- yeah.
It's different perception for us in Manila who are not familiar with it. I've been as far as maybe Camiguin and Davao, but
There's a lot of Catholic people there.
Right.
Not all Muslims, but a lot of Catholic.
yeah, I always say that. The Muslims only comprise about 6% of the
Yes.
population. But people are friendly. There's no security issue, not that you know of.
Yes.
You're from you're native Dipolog.
Yes.
So, perfect place to retire, bring your husband,
Okay.
and have a nice healing
Yes.
center.
Yes.
Perfect. Seaside,
Yeah.
mountains, greens, environment, all untouched and that sort of thing.
Yes.
Okay, let's go to the issue. What happened? How did Romy Halosos come into your life? Now, you gave me a timeline. Let's go through that very quickly as we go along. Very quickly. October 2003, purchased beach.
Yes. We
Okay.
purchased a beach.
Mid-October, same year, applied for building permit, and then purchased 2 additional lots about 3 months after that. So now we're in 2004. Is this correct?
Yes.
I'm going through it very
Yes.
quickly.
That's correct.
Okay. In March 2004, 80 square meters of your property you found out was in public land. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yes.
How do you tackle a problem? Oh, gee, I bought something wrong. It's wrong. I can't buy that.
Well, wouldn't have really been a problem except for with our property, it came with a kind of a funky cement house. It wasn't much of a house, so we tore it down to build a lodge.
Right.
Well, you can't sight along the meter or from marker to marker because of the hill and everything being what it is. So we assumed that it was, you know, on the property. Yeah. And so when they tore it down and started building quite a large lodge, and of course it was all, the cement was all in, and we said, well, it's over the property line, but it's all public land. So, you know, we researched the property thoroughly and who owned everything. And the good news was it was public land. And
so you made an effort at least to try and buy it rather than destroy what you built.
Yeah, to make it legal, you know.
Right. You went through the legal,
yes,
proper way, so to speak.
For it.
You applied for it. This is when you meet the oligarch, Romy Holosos, through a lawyer, in fact, called Ofelia Javier. And right there and then you find out he owns the beach, or he owns that land?
What was it? Dakak Aqua Sports was what she originally said.
Right.
Owned the land, and we knew that was...
it's not true after
investigation. It just isn't true. And also, well, we knew who owned the land because we had already done property purchases around there, so we were familiar with the actual titles and everything. You know, you weren't going to...
Yes,
So there was a barangay meeting, and I says, well, you don't have any proof that he owns anything. We've researched this everywhere. Mm-hmm. And then there was a second barangay meeting.
Right,
and she just said, and she's basically a secretary for Dakak Beach. She basically said, no, I don't have any proof or nothing like that. I just want you to relinquish your claim to the beach. I was like, you know.
But haven't you heard of the all-powerful Holosos clan at this point? I'm sure his name has reverberated all over that area. I'm the most powerful. I am the king. You come near me, I will step on you. Oh. I'm sure you realize that.
Well, and I just figured it's, she's just doing some kind of side scam or something because he's not eligible to claim it. He was in prison at that time, serving a couple life sentences.
This is where it gets interesting. How can a man of authority, well, he actually ran and won for a while. He only lost the last election finally. Yeah. At that time, while incarcerated, having been convicted of rape. This man was actually operating, well, you know, just this morning, interestingly enough, we found out that the high sensitive detainees in Muntinlupa have, let's see, they have private rooms, carpeted TVs, they bring in girls left and right, they have guns, they have jacuzzis, so maybe it's not too much a difference. Well, maybe now if you join the exclusive group of Muntinlupa, maybe these are the perks of the game. When you get incarcerated, you become very big and very powerful. Anyway, before we go on, we're going to have to take a short break. Ladies and gentlemen, I realize I'm being sarcastic pag sinasabi ko po yan, pero totoo yan. Yan po ang lumalabas na balita ngayong umaga at nilabas ni Laila de Lima. It seems the all-powerful, the oligarchs, are beyond and far beyond the law. It seems that now lawlessness is the name of the game. Stay with us. When we come back, we will ask their legal representative to find out some legalities or the illegal movements of this oligarch that continues to scare people away from our country. We'll be right back.